But while there was some some positive stuff, there was also some negative stuff that came from it, and there was a lot of people that I saw, truthfully. Probably one of the more prominent figures being Skip Bayless, who you and I we've talked about him on the podcast before. Um, for how disrespectful he could be sometimes, and and some bad takes that he has and things like that.
Skip, king of bad takes.
Right, and ultimately, he during all this he tweeted out that uh you know ultimately the NFL again considering to postpone the rest of the game. How do you do that though? Because it's late in the season. It's a very crucial game. Um, and the game of this magnitude could really dictate a lot. Um, he ended the tweet by saying, which suddenly seems so irrelevant, and a lot of people read that tweet, myself included, and were just like, "What the hell?" Um, and a lot of people being some pretty prominent figures in the world, former NFL players and other people of the media and things like that. He later went on to tweet, saying that he feels as though his words were misinterpreted, which I mean, I guess depending on how you read it, sure. Um, I think a lot of what he said probably could have just been left out of the tweet, truthfully. But
Uh, yeah, or just don't tweet.
yeah, right. Or just don't fucking say anything. But obviously, when you're in that kind of spotlight that he's in, right? Being a pretty major member of the sports media, um, rather unfortunately, he, I'm obviously he might feel as though he should people would want to hear his opinion kind of deal, considering the fact that that's what he does for a living is just give opinions. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but again, I mean, a lot of people were definitely not happy with his tweet. He still has not deleted the tweet. He's not taking it down. Um,
Yeah, which is also pretty stupid.
the next day, he went on Undisputed, his show.
Hmm.
Um, and he did give an apology on air. And then moved on. Just did the show. Which, yeah, whatever. Um, you know, I'm sure the boss has told him to do it, and once you do it, good, move on, whatever, right? It's nothing new with Skip. I mean, Skip has said some pretty controversial things over the years, many times. And truthfully, I don't understand how the man still has a job. At least a job to where somebody else is paying him. I mean, if he wants to go do his own thing, do his own thing. But um, yeah, I don't get that. Um, however, during so one of the things for yesterday's episode of Undisputed, um, uh, Shannon Sharp was not there. He was not. He was absent from the show. Um, and then he came back today, and I don't know if you saw this clip. But he came back today, and well, this is ultimately how things ended up going down to start off the show.
Good to see you, Shannon. I understand you have something you want to share this morning.
Good morning. Yes. Morning. There's been a lot of speculation of why I wasn't on air yesterday, and I won't get into speculation or conjecture, innuendo, but I will say this. In watching that game on Monday night, what happened to Damar Hamlin struck me a little different. Um, as a brotherhood in the NFL, when injuries happen, when we know injuries are a part of the game, I've seen guys suffer ACLs and Achilles tear, but I've never seen anybody have to be revived and fight for their life on the field. So it struck me a little differently because I remember seeing my brother paralyzed on the field temporarily, and he was able to regain focus. Um, Skip tweeted something, and although I disagree with the tweet, and hopefully Skip would take it down, but I didn't want it.
Well, time out. I'm not going to take it down
Okay,
because I stand by what I tweeted.
Skip, let me
Okay.
finish.
All right. Okay.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Go ahead. Let's go, Jen.
Okay.
I mean, I cannot even get through a monologue without you interrupting me.
Okay,
You
well-
could have came back, Skip.
well, I thought-
Skip, just let.
I didn't know you were gonna bring up
No,
this.
I was just going to say, Skip. I didn't want to yesterday to get into a situation where DeMar Hamlin was the issue. We should have been talking about him and not get into your tweet. That's what I was going to do. But you can't even let me finish my opening monologue without you interrupting.
Okay. I was under the impression you weren't going to bring this up because nobody here had a problem with that tweet.
No, clearly the bosses wanted you to offer explanation. So clearly, somebody.
No, they
had a
did
problem.
not have. Nobody.
Let's go, Jen.
Thoughts and prayers remain with DeMar Hamlin.
That's where the
gentlemen,
focus should have
certainly,
been,
as he
and not on the
continues.
football game. Yes, let's go, Jen. Thank you.
So
Yeah, pretty awkward.
yeah, it's fair to say. Yeah, I mean, it's again, I mean, Skip has said some very controversial things over the years, and I don't blame Shannon for being upset, because I mean, fuck, when I read those, the tweet he set out and the things he said, and I was pretty upset reading it myself. So, yeah, I mean, truthfully,
At the end of the day, like,
go ahead.
I kind of understand. I don't want to say I understand, but like, I can imagine from Skip's perspective, he's thinking, like, the tweet, like, I was supporting the player in that tweet, right? In his mind, at least.
Yeah.
Okay. And whether it was interpreted wrong or not, and whether or not Skip thinks that he was supporting the player or not, even if he's right or wrong, I think just out of respect for your coworker and for probably every player in the NFL and the fans, just I would just admit, hey, I worded my tweet in a really bad way. That is my fault. I apologize and take it down. It would be that easy.
Yeah, right.
Instead of him just dying on this hill.
Yeah,
It's a bad
it's
take.
yeah,
I don't know why he's doing it.
yeah. I don't get it, and to me, it's just classic Skip, and and of course, the world being the world, the internet being the internet. There's some who are taking his side, and it's quote unquote cancel culture, just trying to really get at him. But yeah, right. There's a lot of that, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, dude, like, clearly what was said, whether if it was supposed to be interpreted a different way or not, struck a chord with a lot of people, because it was not interpreted the way that you made it intended to be interpreted.
True. Very true.
So yeah, I mean, I agree, man. Like, I like, just, if all you got to do is just say sorry, and then take the tweet down, and then hopefully move on, right? Now, ideally, especially just skipping Skip, you learn from mistakes like this, and you better yourself. However, it's fucking Skip Bayless, so that'll literally never happen in the history of
That
mankind.
will actually just not happen.
Like, it's fucking Skip. Like, he's just
You couldn't
always
even let Shannon get through one small monologue about whatever he wanted to say.
no, and it's just yeah, and I mean, no wonder why Stephen A. hated working with him. Granted, I'm not a big fan of Stephen A. Smith, but I respect the fact that he could openly admit to the fact that he did not like working with Skip. And I wouldn't be shocked if Shannon Sharp, doesn't decide to potentially leave soon as well. But yeah, I wouldn't blame him.
Yeah,
And then I still continue to question how this man is still getting paid. Then again, he works for Fox. Why should I be surprised?